All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving headfirst into the exciting world of e-bikes.
Ooh, yes,
You know, those electric wonders that are kind of changing how we think about transportation and recreation?
absolutely.
We've got two fantastic sources to guide us on our journey today.
Okay.
One's all about picking the perfect e-bike for you,
Smart.
and the other dives into the top 10 mistakes new riders often make.
Oh, very good to know.
So this deep dive is for anyone who is super intrigued by e-bikes,
Okay.
but maybe you want to make sure you're
Yeah.
not going to make those rookie goofs when you start out.
Avoid those blunders.
Yeah, exactly. No embarrassing stories here.
Exactly.
So what's really cool about e-bikes
Well,
is that they're not just for one type of person, you know?
yeah, that's so true.
They can fit so many different needs and desires.
It's not just about, ditching your car or
Mhm.
your regular bike either.
Yeah,
It's really about opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
I like that.
Yeah.
Expanding your horizons. Okay, so let's say I'm picturing myself
Okay.
cruising on a sunny bike path,
Yeah. Yeah.
wind in my hair.
Okay.
But maybe I also want to tackle some challenging hills on the weekends.
Right.
How do I even begin to choose the right e-bike
Oh, that's a great question.
for those different scenarios?
Yeah, it all starts with really understanding the different types of e-bikes that are out there.
Okay.
It's kind of like choosing the right tool for a job. You know what I mean? Like you wouldn't use a hammer to screw in a light bulb.
Definitely not unless I was having a really bad day.
Exactly, unless you were having a really bad day.
Desperate times.
So different e-bikes are made for different purposes.
Okay.
Let's start with city bikes.
Okay.
These are your sleek urban commuters, built for comfort,
Mm-hmm.
navigating paved roads and bike paths.
Okay.
Perfect for, zipping through traffic, running errands,
Yeah.
or just enjoying like a relaxed ride around town.
So if I'm picturing myself with a baguette sticking out of my basket, thieving through traffic,
Yes.
that's a city bike.
You got it.
All right, got it.
Then you've got mountain e-bikes.
Okay.
These are the adventurers,
Right.
the rugged ones designed to conquer off-road trails
Oh,
and
okay.
technical terrain.
Yep.
They usually have more, robust frames, powerful motors,
Makes sense.
and knobby tires for better traction.
All right, so and I'm feeling more like a mountain goat
Yes, exactly.
than a city slicker.
You got it.
What about those cargo bikes I've seen around?
Oh, yeah.
Are those just for families
You might think so.
with lots of kids?
But they're actually becoming super popular for all sorts of uses.
Really?
Yeah, we're seeing like entrepreneurs using them for deliveries.
Oh, smart.
It's a smart business investment.
Yeah.
And some people even use them to transport their pets.
Now, that's an image I would love to see, a
Um,
dog with its own chauffeur.
I know, it's adorable.
But let's get back to the nitty-gritty.
Okay.
We talked about different types,
Yeah.
but what about the motors?
Ah, yes, the motor.
Seems like everyone's talking about
Right.
hub motors versus mid-drive motors.
Absolutely.
What's the difference, really?
Well, the motor is the heart of the e-bike.
Yeah,
So understanding those nuances can really make a difference
Okay.
in your riding experience.
gotcha.
Hub motors are known for being quiet, simple,
Okay.
and efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Makes them a great choice for city riding or like gentle terrain.
Okay.
But if you're planning on tackling some serious hills or off-road adventures,
Right.
then a mid-drive motor might be a better fit.
So it's all about torque then.
Yes, you got
Like
it.
those commercials where the truck is pulling the giant weight up a mountain.
Perfect analogy.
Okay.
Mid-drive motors, they give you more torque,
Okay.
which means more power
Uh-huh.
and better hill climbing ability.
Okay.
Plus, they're known for better weight distribution,
Right.
which improves the handling.
Yeah.
Especially important for off-road riding.
Okay, so we've covered the bike type and the motor. Yeah. What's next?
Okay, well, next up is battery range.
Okay.
And this is a big one.
Yeah.
Imagine this.
Okay.
You're miles from home pedaling up a hill
Okay.
and suddenly silence.
Oh, no.
No more electric assist.
You talk about range anxiety.
Yes, range anxiety.
I have definitely experienced that.
I bet.
I totally underestimated the distance once.
Oh, no.
It was not a graceful ending to my adventure.
I can imagine.
Had to call my mom for a ride.
Oh, that's the worst.
It happened.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
But it really highlights how important it is to carefully consider that battery range and plan your rides accordingly.
So just like I wouldn't set off on a road trip
Exactly.
without checking my fuel gauge.
You got it.
Makes sense.
Right.
Do the math.
Yes.
Make sure the battery can handle my rides.
Exactly.
What else should we be thinking about when we're choosing?
Okay, well, fit and comfort are essential.
Okay.
Just like finding the right pair of shoes,
Yeah.
an e-bike that fits properly will not only be more comfortable,
Right.
but also safer and more efficient.
So it's not just about how cool it looks,
Style is definitely a factor.
because some of them are really stylish.
I know, they are very cool.
Yeah.
But don't sacrifice functionality for aesthetics.
Okay.
A bike that's too big or too small can be difficult to handle
Right.
and even dangerous.
Yeah, I don't want to be wobbling around like a newborn giraffe.
Exactly. Nobody wants that.
Speaking of awkward situations, what about local regulations?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Are there specific rules I need to know
Yes,
before I hit the road?
that's a smart question. And it's one that a lot of people overlook.
Really?
Yeah, e-bike regulations, they can vary from place to place.
Yeah.
So it's crucial to do your research
Mm.
and make sure you're in compliance.
Like what kind of things?
We're talking about things like speed limits,
Okay.
helmet laws,
Uh-huh.
and even restrictions on where you can ride.
So no zipping through pedestrian zones.
Probably not a good idea.
Or doing wheelies in the park.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay, I'll try to behave.
Yeah, just remember, ignorance is not bliss
Right.
when it comes to fines or even accidents.
Good point.
Always check those local laws before you hit the open road.
Okay, so we talked about the bike itself,
Yes.
but let's talk about the elephant in the room, the price tag.
Oh, yeah, that price tag.
E-bikes can be a serious investment.
They can be, you're right.
So how do we make sure we're getting the best bang for our buck?
You're right. E-bikes aren't exactly impulse buys.
No.
They're an investment in your transportation, your health,
Yeah,
and your overall well-being.
right.
When you're thinking about budget, it's really important to weigh
Go.
quality, durability, and features against that price.
So it's like buying a car.
Exactly.
You don't want to skimp on safety or reliability.
Absolutely not.
Right.
And just like with cars, there are different levels of
Yeah.
quality and features.
Okay.
So think about what you need
Yeah.
and what your priorities are.
Yeah.
Do you really need that top-of-the-line model
Right.
with all the bells and whistles? Or will something more basic work for you?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I am feeling a bit overwhelmed, honestly,
It can be.
by all the choices.
It can be very overwhelming.
How do I even start to navigate all the
Wow.
brands and models out there? It
Well,
feels
yeah.
like every time I turn around,
Yeah.
there's a new company
Yeah.
promising me the world.
Promising you the moon.
That's when the research comes in.
Exactly. That's where the research comes in.
Right.
Read reviews from reputable sources.
Okay.
Talk to experienced e-bike riders.
Yep.
And visit some local bike shops to get a
Done.
feel for different brands and models.
So it's all about due diligence.
Due diligence is key.
Yeah.
You don't want to just jump on the first shiny e-bike you see.
No impulse buying.
No impulse buying.
Okay.
Choosing the right e-bike is a personal decision.
Right.
There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Right.
It's really about finding that perfect match for you,
I like that.
for your individual needs and preferences.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Choosing the right type,
Yeah.
understanding motors, batteries,
Yeah.
considering budget regulations, and doing our research.
Really important.
But what about the things we shouldn't do?
Ah, yes.
The common pitfall.
The common pitfalls that can trip up even the most enthusiastic
Yeah.
e-bike newbie.
I think we all need a little reminder
We
of
did.
those e-bike no-nos.
Yes, the e-bike no-nos. Let's
Yeah.
dive right into those common e-bike mistakes.
Okay, let's do it.
You wouldn't believe how many accidents happen
Oh.
involving experienced cyclists who thought helmets were just for beginners.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a recent study actually showed that e-bike riders who don't wear helmets
Okay.
are 3 times more likely
Wow.
to suffer serious head injuries in a crash.
Okay, that is a sobering statistic.
Yeah,
I guess it really drives home the point that safety gear is non-negotiable,
absolutely.
no matter how experienced you are.
Yeah, it's like wearing a seatbelt in a car.
Right.
You wouldn't even think about driving without one, would you?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
I have to admit, though, sometimes I get a little lazy about wearing gloves,
Oh, yeah.
especially on those shorter rides.
I get it, but gloves are often overlooked.
Yeah.
But they provide crucial protection for your hands,
Okay.
just in case you fall.
Right.
And plus, they can actually improve your grip
Okay.
and reduce vibrations,
Oh, that's a good point.
making for a much more comfortable ride.
Okay, you've convinced me.
Good.
Gloves are on the must-have list.
Excellent.
What about the learning curve?
Ah, yes, the learning curve.
I've heard that e-bikes handle a little differently
The deal.
than traditional bikes.
Yeah,
Is that something I need to worry about?
it's definitely something to be aware of.
Okay.
E-bikes, they have more power and weight
Right.
than traditional bikes,
Is this-
so they can take a little getting used to.
Okay.
Don't just hop on and expect to be an expert right away.
So no showing off my mad cycling skills.
Maybe save those for later.
on my first ride.
Yeah, exactly. Practice in a safe area first,
Oh.
away from traffic, obstacles,
Right.
until you feel comfortable with those controls,
Mm-hmm.
the brakes,
Right.
and how the bike responds to your input.
So just like when you're learning to drive a car,
Except
you wouldn't take your first lesson on a busy highway.
Exactly. You wouldn't want to do that.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so once I've mastered those basics,
Okay.
what about those local laws?
Oh, the local laws.
Are there any hidden gotchas I should be aware of?
As we talked about earlier, e-bike laws can be a little bit of a minefield. They vary from state to state and even city to city.
Really?
So you're right to be cautious.
Okay.
For example, some areas, they require e-bikes to be registered,
Okay.
while others don't.
Wow.
And speed limits can vary as well. Okay.
Some trails
Yeah.
might be off limits to e-bikes altogether.
So it's not just a matter of hopping on
But-
and riding wherever I please.
Not exactly.
Okay.
You really need to do your homework.
Gotcha.
Understand those specific rules for your area.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't want to end up with a big fine.
Exactly.
Or worse.
Nobody wants that.
Get into trouble with the law.
Exactly. So it's all about being a responsible e-bike rider.
Okay.
Respecting the rules of the road or the trail, as the case may be.
Right. Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about battery management.
Ah, yes. Battery management.
I know this is a big one,
It is a big one.
especially if you're planning longer rides.
Absolutely.
What are some tips for avoiding that dreaded range anxiety?
Well, knowing your battery's range is crucial,
Okay.
and that information is usually available from the manufacturer.
Okay.
It can vary quite a bit,
Yeah.
depending on factors like the battery's capacity,
Right.
the level of pedal assist you're using, the
Okay.
terrain you're riding on.
Makes sense.
Even the weather conditions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's not an exact science. It's
Yeah.
more about understanding those variables
Yeah.
and planning accordingly.
What about those battery-saving tips I've heard?
Oh, yeah. Those are good ones.
Like using a lower pedal assist level
Yeah.
or avoiding sudden bursts of speed?
Those are great strategies for maximizing your battery's range.
Okay.
It's kind of like driving a car.
Mhm.
If you accelerate hard
Yeah.
and brake frequently,
Yeah.
you're going to burn through more fuel.
Makes sense.
Same principle applies to e-bikes.
Okay, so being smooth and efficient
Smooth and efficient?
with my riding style.
Yes, exactly.
I like that. It makes me feel like I'm in control,
You are in control.
not just at the mercy of the battery.
You got it.
Okay.
You're becoming quite the e-bike savvy rider.
Oh, thanks.
But just like with a car, being a responsible owner
Okay.
means taking care of your e-bike.
Okay, let's talk maintenance then.
Let's do it.
I have to confess, I'm not exactly a gearhead.
That's
What are some basic maintenance tasks
okay. Good question.
that every e-bike owner should know?
You don't need to be a mechanic to keep your e-bike running smoothly.
Okay, good.
Start with the basics. Check your tire pressure regularly. Just like with a car, proper tire pressure
Right.
can improve efficiency, handling, and safety.
Okay, that's easy enough.
Good.
I can definitely handle checking my tires.
Excellent.
What else?
Keep your chain clean and lubricated.
Okay.
Another simple but important task.
Right.
A dirty chain can really wear down your drivetrain
Right.
and make pedaling much harder.
Yeah, no one wants to feel like they're pedaling through mud.
Exactly. Nobody wants that.
What about the brakes?
The brakes.
Are those something I need to worry about?
Brakes are essential for safety.
Okay.
So it's crucial to inspect those regularly,
All right.
make sure the brake pads are in good condition, and adjust them as needed. If you hear any squeaking or grinding,
Oh, yeah.
that's a sign they might need some attention.
good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm starting to feel like a responsible e-bike owner already.
I love to hear that.
But what about those times when things go wrong?
Oh, yeah. Those things happen.
Like, what if I get a flat tire?
yeah.
Or my battery dies in the middle of nowhere?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it leads us to the importance of being prepared for the unexpected.
Okay.
Just like you wouldn't set off on a road trip
Right.
without a spare tire and a toolkit,
Yeah.
you should always
Okay.
carry some essential supplies with you.
All right, so what should I be packing in my e-bike emergency kit?
A spare tube,
Okay.
a tire lever,
Mm-hmm.
a pump, and a multi-tool.
Okay.
Those are essential for fixing flat tires.
Right.
And a small first aid kit
Yeah.
is always a good idea.
Makes sense. So being self-sufficient out there,
Be prepared.
not relying on roadside assistance
Exactly.
in the middle of a bike path,
You got it.
and water and snacks,
Oh, yes. Water and snacks are important,
especially on those longer rides.
especially on longer rides.
Don't want to get stranded
Nobody wants that.
with a rumbling stomach.
And a parched throat.
Okay, I'm feeling more confident already,
Excellent.
more prepared.
I like it.
But there's one thing I've been wondering about.
Okay, what is it?
Those pedal assist levels.
Ah, yes.
What's the best way to use them?
That's a good question.
Is it cheating if I use the highest level all the time?
I wouldn't say it's cheating.
Okay.
Think of pedal assist as your secret weapon,
Okay.
not a crutch.
All right.
It's there to enhance your writing experience,
Yeah.
not to replace your own effort.
So it's all about finding that right balance
It's-
between the electric assist and human power.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Experiment with different pedal assist levels
All right.
and find what works best for you
Okay.
and the terrain that you're riding on.
Makes sense.
Remember, e-biking should be enjoyable.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a struggle,
Right.
right? So you know no guilt about using the motor when you need it,
Okay.
but also no shame
Yeah.
in pedaling under your own steam
Right.
when you're feeling energetic.
I like that. So it's not about being lazy.
Exactly.
It's about enjoying the ride,
Yeah.
getting where I need to go
Uh-huh.
in a fun and sustainable way.
Exactly. And speaking of sustainability,
Yes.
I think it's important to address the
Alright.
environmental impact of e-bikes.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
E-bikes are often seen as this green alternative
Right.
to cars.
Uh-huh.
But is that always the case?
You're right to question that blanket assumption
Okay.
that e-bikes are always eco-friendly.
Right.
It's more nuanced than that.
Yeah.
So for starters, we need to think about
Yeah.
where the electricity comes from that's used to charge those batteries.
Okay.
If it's coming from a coal-fired power plant,
Yeah.
then the environmental impact is much higher.
So if I'm charging my e-bike using electricity that comes from renewable sources,
Right.
like solar or wind power,
Exactly.
then I'm actually reducing my carbon footprint.
You got it.
Okay, good to know.
It's worth checking with your local utility company to
Ah.
see if they offer green energy options.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And some companies even offer incentives
Really?
for charging your e-bike
Oh, wow.
during off-peak hours.
That's smart.
Yeah.
What about the production process of e-bikes?
Oh, that's another good point.
Are there any environmental concerns there?
You raise a really valid point.
Yeah.
The manufacturing of any product,
Right.
including e-bikes, has an environmental impact.
Right.
It's about using resources responsibly
Right.
and minimizing waste.
Yeah.
Some e-bike manufacturers are making big strides
Okay.
in using recycled materials
Got it.
and reducing their carbon footprint.
So it's about doing our research
Exactly.
and choosing brands that are committed to sustainability.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's about making informed choices.
And supporting those companies
Yeah.
that align with our values.
And what about end-of-life disposal?
Oh, that's an important one.
What happens to those batteries
Right.
when they've reached the end of their life cycle?
E-bike batteries contain valuable materials
Right.
that can and should be recycled.
Okay.
Don't just throw them in the trash.
No.
Most e-bike retailers and manufacturers
Yeah.
have recycling programs in place.
So it's about closing the loop,
Closing the loop.
making sure those materials get reused
Exactly.
rather than ending up in a landfill.
Yeah, the goal.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
Choosing the right e-bike,
Yeah.
understanding motors and batteries,
Uh-huh.
mastering those pedal assist levels,
Absolutely.
being mindful of the environmental impact.
Very important.
But let's not forget about one of the most important aspects of e-biking,
Oh, what's that?
the accessories. Accessories. The e-bike equivalent of a tricked-out sports car.
Exactly.
But seriously.
Yeah. The right accessories
Mhm.
can really make a big difference
They can.
in terms of comfort,
Absolutely.
convenience, and even safety.
For sure.
Okay, so let's start with the must-haves.
Okay, with the essentials.
What accessories should every e-bike owner think about?
Well, as we talked about, a good lock is absolutely essential.
Right, because replacing a stolen e-bike
Yeah.
is not how I want to spend my money
Nobody wants to do that.
or time.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
Lights.
Go.
Even if you don't plan on riding at night,
Right.
having front and rear lights
Yeah.
can make you so much more visible to cars
Okay.
and other cyclists,
Makes sense. It's
especially in low light conditions or like dusk and dawn.
like an extra layer of security,
Exactly.
making sure you stand out.
Yes.
Yeah.
You want to be seen.
What about when I have to carry stuff?
Oh, good question.
You know, groceries,
Yeah.
gear.
Well, that's where a rear rack or panniers can come in handy.
Okay.
They can turn your e-bike into a cargo carrying machine.
I like it.
You can transport everything from groceries to camping gear.
No more juggling bags,
Exactly. No more juggling bags.
struggling with heavy loads.
Makes life so much easier.
And what about a handlebar bag?
Oh, yeah. A handlebar bag is super useful
Okay.
for keeping your phone, your wallet, your keys,
Right, all the essentials.
all the essentials. Exactly.
Close at hand.
Yes. Easy access.
Okay, so those are the essentials.
Right.
What about some of those more specialized accessories?
Oh, yeah. The fun stuff.
Depending on your riding style?
Exactly, needs. Well, if you enjoy longer rides
Right.
or have any back issues,
Yeah.
a suspension seat post can be amazing.
Oh, okay.
It really helps absorb those shocks and vibrations.
Okay.
Makes for a much smoother and more comfortable ride.
That sounds lovely,
It is,
especially on those bumpy roads and trails.
for sure.
And if I'm going off-road,
Yes.
fenders are a must.
Fenders are a must-have,
Right.
especially if you're tackling serious off-road adventures.
Yeah, I don't want to look like I just crawled out of a mud pit.
Exactly. Nobody wants that.
And for the techies out there,
Oh, yeah, there's so much cool stuff.
what kind of gadgets are we talking about?
Well, you've got GPS devices,
Okay.
smartphone mounts,
Right.
heart rate monitors.
Turning your e-bike into a rolling computer?
I know, it's amazing.
So many possibilities.
The possibilities are endless.
But it's all about finding those accessories
Yeah,
that make your riding experience better.
exactly. Enhance your enjoyment.
Okay, so we've covered a lot.
We have.
Choosing the right e-bike,
Yeah.
avoiding those common mistakes,
Mhm.
maximizing battery life,
Absolutely.
accessorizing like a pro.
Yes.
But before we wrap up, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier.
Okay, what's that?
Trail etiquette.
Yes. Very important.
What should e-bike riders keep in mind
Right.
when they're sharing trails
Yeah.
with other people?
Trail etiquette is all about being respectful
Right.
of the environment and other trail users,
Yeah.
whether they're hikers, runners, or fellow cyclists.
Makes sense.
E-bikes can travel at higher speeds
Right.
than traditional bikes,
Okay.
so it's super important to be extra cautious and
Right.
courteous.
It's like driving a car.
It is.
You need to be aware of your surroundings,
Yeah.
share the road responsibly.
Share the trail responsibly, exactly.
Okay, so break it down for us.
Okay.
What are some of the key points of e-bike trail etiquette?
First and foremost, always yield to hikers and horses.
Okay.
They have the right of way.
Okay.
It's our responsibility as e-bike riders
Yeah?
to slow down and give them plenty of space.
So no buzzing past hikers or spooking horses.
Exactly. Nobody wants to do that.
Got it.
And just like with driving a car,
Yeah.
it's important to stay on those designated trails
Okay.
and avoid cutting switchbacks.
Right.
This helps to minimize erosion
Okay.
and protect that natural environment.
So no blazing my own trail through the wilderness.
No, we want to stay on the trail.
What about noise pollution?
Oh, that's a good one.
Because e-bikes are generally quieter
Yeah, they are.
than gas-powered vehicles.
Much quieter.
But is there anything we should keep in mind?
It's still important to keep that motor noise to a minimum,
Okay.
especially in those sensitive areas.
So no blasting music
No loud music.
or revving my motor.
No, revving the motor. We want to be respectful.
Right. Be mindful of other people.
Exactly.
Preserve the peace and quiet of nature.
Exactly.
Preserve the peace and quiet of nature.
That's what it's all about.
Okay. And leave no trace principles.
Oh, very important.
Right. Yeah.
Pack out everything you pack in.
Okay.
Dispose of trash properly.
Keep the trails clean.
Yes, exactly.
It's everyone's responsibility.
It is.
Leave things better than we found them.
I love that.
By following these simple guidelines,
Yeah,
we can all help ensure that e-biking stays
exactly.
a sustainable
Mhm.
and enjoyable activity for everyone.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we've covered just about everything.
I think so too.
We went from choosing the perfect e-bike,
Yeah.
avoiding common mistakes,
Uh-huh.
maximizing battery life,
Absolutely.
accessorizing like a pro,
For sure.
and even practicing good trail etiquette.
Very important.
Now, as we come to the end of our deep dive,
Okay.
I have a question for you,
Okay.
our amazing listener.
All right.
Now that you've learned all about e-bikes,
Yes.
what kind of adventure are you going to go on?
Ooh, good question.
Will you be zipping through city streets,
I love that image.
conquering mountain trails,
Yeah.
or maybe even starting your own e-bike delivery business?
Oh, there you go. The possibilities are endless.
E-bikes are more than just transportation.
That's so true.
They're a gateway to new experiences,
Absolutely.
tool for connecting with nature,
I love that.
and a symbol of a more sustainable future.
Couldn't agree more.
So get out there, explore, and enjoy the ride.
And remember,
Yeah.
safety first, always.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of e-bikes.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, happy riding.